I don't think people know how interesting Howard Lutnick is. Now, Howard Lutnick is the Secretary of Commerce for Donald Trump's second administration. Now, you're like, okay, another billionaire, who gives a fuck? I think it's important to know who Howard Lutnick was living next to in 2005. Howard Lutnick's neighbor was Jeffrey Epstein. Now, ever since I found that little piece of information, I always thought, hey, why would the guy that Donald Trump wanted nothing to do with, his neighbor, is now your Secretary of Commerce in your second administration? That's fucking weird, right? That's fucking weird. Well, then this text came out. On May 15th, 2019, Jeffrey Epstein said to Richard Kahn, Trump going to Lutnick's house on Thursday. I just have always thought it just is so odd that Howard Lutnick would separate himself from Jeffrey Epstein. That was your neighbor, and not everyone's close with their neighbors, that's fine. But it's just like, what are the odds that the most prominent human trafficker of the 21st century is your neighbor, and then you end up in one of his best friend's administrations as a commerce secretary? I just think that's very odd. That's very odd. And this is not the first time that Howard Lutnick has done something scammy. His brother died in 9/11, and Howard Lutnick sued the plane and made millions by doing that. It is fucking disgusting, that piece of shit. Howard Lutnick, the CEO of Cantor Fitzgerald, was not at work on September 11, 2001 because he was taking his oldest son to his first day of kindergarten. His office, located on the 101st to 105th floor of the North Tower, was destroyed, and his firm suffered heavy losses, including Lutnick's brother Gary. Howard Lutnick, CEO of Cantor Fitzgerald, did not sue the 9/11 attacks themselves, but the firm filed a major lawsuit against American Airlines and its parent company, AMR Corp., for negligence in allowing the terrorists to board and hijack its plane, American Airlines Flight 11. Cantor Fitzgerald, which occupied the top floors of the World Trade Center's North Tower, lost 658 of its 1,000 New York employees in the attacks, including Lutnick's brother Gary. Lutnick survived only because he was delayed that morning while taking his young son to kindergarten. Allegations. The lawsuit accused American Airlines of negligence. The airline maintained it was not at fault and could not have prevented a terrorist attack that the government also could not stop. Imagine the worst terrorist attack on U.S. soil, and your company's fucking blamed because you guys can't get your shit together because you can't avoid the terrorist attack. Like, that's so fucking insane. The original lawsuit sought $945 million. The lawsuit was settled in December 2013 for $135 million. The terms of the settlement were not publicly released initially, but the amount was later confirmed. Lutnick's response. Lutnick stated that while the legal formality was over, the settlement could not be considered a, quote, ordinary compromise given the immense personal loss. In the immediate aftermath of the attacks, Lutnick publicly committed that Cantor Fitzgerald would provide support to the victims' families. The firm pledged to distribute 25% of its profits for 5 years and provide 10 years of health insurance to families, a commitment that amounted to $180 million in direct financial support by 2006. I just have a question, or a couple. One, why did just the Cantor Fitzgerald company get that money? Over 600 employees died. You would think that the money from that lawsuit would be divided up for all of the victims, but I have a feeling it wasn't. So that's one. Number two, I think that it's so funny how they're so proud to say, hey, we gave everyone health insurance for 10 years. Meanwhile, that's fucking nothing. And we know that because of what has happened with the World Trade Center and the asbestos and to the firefighters and things getting in their lungs. People have died from cancer because of the World Trade Center and the terrorist attack. So I just think it's funny how they're like so proud of themselves. Like, hey, we gave 10 years of health insurance. It's like, little did you guys know. Howard Lutnick's life is very fascinating. But I think the most fascinating thing is I think he's just keeping an eye on Trump. Because you would think, why wasn't he in the Secretary of Commerce the first time? What changed from the first Trump to the second Trump, besides that he knew Howard Lutnick would say yes to everything? I think it's because of Epstein. I truly think that Epstein has something to do with their relationship, and how Howard Lutnick is almost kind of keeping a watch out on Trump, making sure Trump doesn't do anything fucking stupid, like opening his absolutely disgusting mouth. And because sometimes Howard Lutnick's always fucking there. Like, if you notice some pictures, Howard Lutnick's always in the corner. Like, he's almost like an evil devil. Like, oh, I'm always here, always here, always here. And it's like, it's very odd. And the only reason you would have the Secretary of Commerce, who was Jeffrey Epstein's neighbor, was because you knew that the Epstein files were going to be pushed in your second term, considering that's what you promised on day one. I don't know. A little snooping. I don't know. What are your theories? What do you think? Do you think that Howard Lutnick is keeping an eye out on Trumpy? Or do you think it's like nothing and I made a bigger deal out of it?